Have you ever felt that certain emotional wounds just don't heal, no matter how much time, therapy, and workshops you go through? About 80% of people who experience a very intense or traumatic event end up with emotional problems that last a long time. This means that even though the difficult situation has passed, the emotional wound continues to affect their health until it is healed. The real issue is that the prolonged pain from this emotional wound increases the risk of developing chronic diseases, such as cardiovascular diseases, due to constant stress and inflammation in the body. This happens because emotional pain affects not just the mind, but also long-term physical health. Often, people don't realize that they have emotional wounds that are causing all this pain. This is concerning. Did you know that 70% of people suffer from unresolved emotional wounds and aren't aware of it? You'll be surprised by what science says about how to heal these wounds. Imagine waking up one morning, feeling as if something heavy still resides in your heart, a subtle but persistent pain that accompanies you with every step, every decision. Have you ever felt that certain emotional wounds just won't heal, no matter how much time passes? You're not alone in this experience. According to a study by the American Psychological Association, more than 70% of people worldwide have reported struggling with emotional wounds that, years later, still affect their daily lives. These wounds are not just memories of the past. They are scars that impact your present and shape your future. Often we try to ignore them, believing they will disappear on their own. However, these wounds remain, silently affecting our relationships, our self-esteem, and even our physical health. When an emotional wound remains unhealed, it can influence how we interact with others, how we see ourselves, and how we face life's challenges. Healing these wounds is not a luxury. It's a necessity to live a full and balanced life. It is the first step towards emotional liberation and reclaiming your true self. In this video, I will accompany you on a journey of self-discovery and healing, where you will learn not only to identify these wounds, but also to treat them and finally, overcome them. Now think, could you be carrying a childhood wound without realizing it? Recognizing this is the first step to healing. Emotional wounds are invisible scars that form in our psyche throughout life. They result from painful experiences that, for various reasons, we fail to fully process. These events can be major traumas or small wounds that accumulate over time. From feelings of rejection to betrayal or abandonment, these wounds leave a deep mark that influences how we perceive ourselves and how we interact with the world. Imagine carrying an invisible backpack filled with stones. Each emotional wound is a stone that adds to the weight. Though you can't see it, the burden is there, affecting every aspect of your life. How many of these stones have you been carrying without realizing it? The impact of these wounds doesn't disappear over time. In fact, if not addressed, they can intensify. A study published in The Lancet Psychiatry highlights that untreated emotional wounds can manifest as depression, anxiety, and even physical issues such as cardiovascular diseases. Prolonged emotional pain can alter the way our brain responds to stress, making it harder to overcome future challenges. Moreover, these wounds can influence our personal relationships. For example, someone who has been repeatedly betrayed might develop a constant fear of commitment, affecting their ability to build healthy relationships. It's as if an untreated wound becomes a distorted lens through which we view the world. Listening to the experiences of others can help us recognize our own struggles. Teresa, a 45-year-old woman, shared how feelings of abandonment during her childhood affected her adult life. For years, I sought approval from others because I felt I wasn't enough. I didn't know why, but I was always trying to please others without succeeding. I didn't realize that this wound of abandonment was dictating my decisions until I confronted it. Another testimony comes from Javier, who struggled with rejection since his adolescence. I always considered myself a strong person, but the rejection I felt in my youth made me build walls. Only when I recognized this wound could I start to tear them down and truly connect with others. Listening to these stories, you might wonder, how many of your own decisions and behaviors are influenced by wounds you didn't even know you had? Recognizing these wounds is the first step to healing them, and while it can be a painful process, it is also the path to a more authentic and liberated life. However, there are certain myths about the healing process that prevent us from experiencing the full life we dream of. Debunking these false beliefs about emotional healing is crucial, as we have grown up with these myths and see them as normal. For example, thinking that time heals all wounds, or that it's better to ignore the pain, are beliefs that can lead us to greater problems. But why is time heals all wounds a dangerous myth? From childhood, we hear this phrase repeated over and over: time heals all wounds. Although it's true that emotions may lose their intensity over time, believing that time alone will heal our wounds is a mistake. Why? Because pain doesn't simply disappear by ignoring it. On the contrary, it can hide deep within our psyche, manifesting in ways we don't even recognize. Scientific studies have shown that unprocessed emotional pain can lead to problems such as chronic anxiety, depression, and physical disorders. Time is a factor, but it is not the cure. Imagine someone with a deep physical wound that is bleeding and hurting. Would you expect it to simply heal by itself over time? The same happens with our emotional wounds. It takes more than time. It requires attention, care, and in many cases, professional intervention. So, what really happens when you ignore your emotions? What you don't see doesn't hurt is a myth that has caused much harm. Hiding our emotions doesn't help at all. On the contrary, it can be dangerous. When we ignore our pain, it doesn't disappear. We just keep it inside. But like a volcano that holds pressure, one day it explodes. Psychological studies have shown that repressed emotions can affect our bodies, causing problems such as heart disease, sleeping difficulties, and persistent pain. Pain that stays with us so long that we get used to it, always carrying painkillers with us. But what about the impact on our relationships? Unexpressed emotions can create invisible barriers, eroding intimacy and connection with others. Recognizing and processing the pain is essential to prevent those barriers from rising and to experience healthy and loving relationships with others. Another common myth today is that you must do it alone. The culture of "I can do it on my own" is a modern myth that has isolated us more than ever. Although self-help is valuable, deep healing rarely occurs in isolation. Social support is crucial. Research has shown that those with a strong support network, whether friends, family, or professionals, are more likely to heal completely from emotional traumas. Please understand that there is nothing wrong with asking for help. In fact, it is a sign of strength, not weakness. Therapy, support groups, and simply talking with someone we trust can be the keys to opening doors that once seemed forever closed. It's time to rethink our beliefs. As we delve deeper into the healing process, it's vital to recognize that not everything we've heard is true. Now tell me, are you really ready to challenge these myths and open yourself to real healing of your emotional wounds? If so, I invite you to join me in a beautiful healing process. Through a few simple exercises backed by science, you can reclaim the fullness, love, and joy of living that you're looking for. So please don't be afraid. This is a process we'll go through together in this video, and it will bring great benefits to your daily life. Are you ready to experience the transformative power of healing? Step 1. Recognize and accept the wound. Emotional healing begins with a step that many find difficult: recognizing and accepting that a wound exists. In our culture, we often minimize or even ignore emotional pain, labeling it as something we should be able to overcome on our own. However, self-acceptance and emotional honesty are key to any healing process. We cannot heal what we deny. Think about this. What happens when you ignore a physical wound? It likely gets worse. The same happens with our emotional wounds. I invite you to perform a practical exercise that may seem simple but is deeply transformative. Please take a few minutes to write about an emotional wound that needs healing. If you're not sure exactly what emotional wound you have, Just write about how you feel and what reactions or behaviors in your daily life you don't like or that are affecting you. You can watch the video titled, "Discover the 5 Emotional Wounds That Sabotage Your Happiness and You Didn't Know You Had," for more clarity. You don't need to share this exercise with anyone. It's just for you. Be honest with yourself. What do you really feel? Allow yourself to experience those emotions without judging yourself. It's possible that when you start recognizing the wound and the emotions it carries, you'll feel immense pain that increases. At this point, you may want to give up, but please stay calm. It's normal to experience this pain, and it's part of the healing process. Think of this pain as something temporary, and as you progress in your process, this pain will gradually decrease. This act of writing is more than just a reflection, it's a step towards liberation. Writing about our emotions can help us understand them better and begin the healing process. The clarity we gain by putting our feelings into words is the first step forward. Step 2. Seek support. Once we have recognized our wound, the next step is to understand that we are not alone on this journey. Social support is fundamental. Many believe that strength lies in facing challenges alone, but this is completely wrong. And today, we have plenty of scientific evidence to support it. The reality is that true strength lies in knowing when we need help and asking for it. Imagine for a moment a safety net that supports you when you need it most. This is what the support of friends, family, or professionals can be. According to studies, those who receive emotional support during difficult times have a quicker and more effective recovery. Therapy is a powerful tool in emotional healing, and there is no shame in seeking the help of a professional when we need it. If for some reason you cannot access a professional, you can seek support in self-help groups that are available in all cities or even online. These groups can be a powerful tool to create the support network you need to navigate this path, as they allow you to communicate and express your feelings and emotions with people who are going through similar situations to yours, giving you the opportunity to learn from how other people are healing and to feel supported, as well as to feel the strength to continue. Think of therapy or self-help groups as a lighthouse in the midst of a storm. They illuminate the path to understanding and overcoming pain. Do not underestimate the power of an honest conversation with someone who can understand and guide you through this process. Step 3. Practice forgiveness. Perhaps one of the most challenging steps in emotional healing is forgiveness. Forgiving is not forgetting or justifying what happened. It is an act of personal liberation. Forgiveness frees us from the weight of resentment and allows us to move forward. Forgiving others and ourselves is a process that requires time and patience. Often we think that forgiveness is for the other person, when in reality, it is for us. Studies have discovered that forgiveness has a direct impact on our mental and physical health. It frees us from stress, improves our emotional well-being, and allows us to live more peacefully. I recommend exploring texts that delve into this topic, such as The Power of Forgiveness by Desmond Tutu, which explains how forgiveness can be a healing tool in extremely painful situations. By practicing forgiveness, we are taking a significant step towards personal liberation. Step 4. Self-care. Self-care is an essential component in the healing process. Taking care of our body and mind is a way of telling ourselves that we are valuable and deserving of love and attention. This includes practices such as meditation, regular exercise, and maintaining a balanced diet. Meditation, for example, has been extensively studied and has been shown to reduce stress, improve concentration, and foster a sense of inner peace. Taking a few minutes each day to meditate can have a profound effect on our emotional health. Similarly, physical exercise not only strengthens the body, but also releases endorphins, which are known as happiness hormones. Self-care is more than a luxury, it is a great necessity. Nurturing our body and mind prepares us to face life's challenges with more resilience. And when we take care of ourselves, we are also better equipped to take care of others. Step 5. Create a positive future. The last step in the emotional healing process is to look ahead and begin building a future that reflects our new reality. Healing does not mean returning to the person we were before the pain, but becoming a stronger and wiser version of ourselves. This is the time to set new goals and dreams. Ask yourself, what do you want to achieve in the coming months or years? Making plans and having a vision for the future gives us purpose and direction. It's not about forgetting what happened, but about using those experiences as a foundation to build a more fulfilling and meaningful life. Many people have transformed their lives after healing their emotional wounds. Oprah Winfrey, for example, has spoken openly about how she faced and overcame traumas in her childhood, using that experience to help others and build a life full of purpose. Your story can also be a story of transformation. Every small step you take towards healing is a step towards a brighter and more positive future. Remember, every step in this process is an investment in yourself. What step are you going to take today to start your own healing process? Healing is a journey, not a destination, and every small step you take counts. Now tell me honestly, do you accept the challenge to transform your life? Now that we have explored the fundamental steps to heal emotional wounds, it is time to put into practice what we have learned. But we won't do this theoretically. I invite you to actively participate in this process with some challenges and activities that will help you reflect and apply what we have discussed so that you can move forward with this healing process. Are you ready? First, I propose a simple but powerful challenge. For 1 week, write down all the negative emotions you feel, no matter if they are minor irritations or deeper feelings. The idea is that, at the end of the week, you review what you have written and look for patterns in your emotions. Are there situations that provoke a recurring emotional response? Is it possible that some of these emotions are connected to unresolved emotional wounds? This exercise is a way to become aware of how our daily emotions are linked to our past experiences. By identifying them, we take the first step towards consciously managing those emotions. Don't worry about finding immediate answers. The simple act of observing is already a significant advancement. Finally, I want to throw you a small challenge. Share in the comments a small emotional victory you have recently experienced. It doesn't have to be something big. Even a small step towards personal improvement counts. For example, maybe you managed to forgive yourself for a past mistake, or perhaps you were able to handle a stressful situation differently. These small victories are signs that you are moving forward, and sharing them not only motivates you, but can also inspire others who are on their own healing journey. These small challenges are not only individual exercises, but also an opportunity to create a support community where we can all learn from each other. Share your results and see how others are progressing in their healing process as well. Together, we can make this journey more bearable and meaningful. Remember, healing is a journey, not a destination. Are you ready to take control of your emotional healing? Now that we have explored the profound impact that emotional wounds can have on our lives, and how, through a conscious and deliberate process, it is entirely possible to heal them. From identifying those wounds to debunking common myths about healing, each step we have discussed is a key piece in your path to emotional well-being. Emotional healing is a journey, a path that requires courage, patience, and above all, a commitment to yourself. It's easy to get trapped in pain, but the resilience we all carry inside is stronger than we think. The ability to heal and move forward is not a gift reserved for a few. It is something we can all achieve if we are willing to face our emotions with honesty and compassion. Remember, every step towards healing is an act of self-love, and every small advance is a victory that deserves to be celebrated. This path may be challenging, but in the end, it is an investment in your happiness and the inner peace you so richly deserve. Also, keep in mind that you are not alone in this process. If you are looking for more resources to deepen your healing, I have included a list of recommended books, scientific studies, and other videos in the description. These materials are here to help you continue growing and strengthening your resilience. To conclude, I want you to take away a clear idea. Healing is possible, and it all starts with a decision. The decision to take care of yourself, to prioritize your well-being, and to believe in your ability to overcome any adversity. So, are you ready to take control of your emotional healing? The journey continues, and I am here to accompany you every step of the way. If this video has resonated with you, I invite you to share it with those you believe can benefit from this message and continue exploring together topics that promote your emotional and spiritual well-being. And don't forget to post in the comments any small victory.